Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Star Wars The Black Series Obi-Wan Kenobi and 212th Clone Trooper 2-pack. So before we take a look at the Clone Trooper, let's go ahead and take a look at Obi-Wan and his only accessory, his lightsaber. So first up, Obi-Wan comes with his lightsaber, and I think the sculpt of this looks really good. The only problem is I believe this right hand is reused from a regular Clone Trooper, so it has a trigger finger. And he can't hold the lightsaber that well at all. Even this hand is kind of loose if you try to get him in a two-handed pose. So yeah, the lightsaber looks really cool, but he can't really hold it properly. I might glue the finger down to the middle finger right here, see if that will make the grip tighter, because as it is, it's just slipping and wobbling in his hands, and that's pretty unfortunate. You can attach the hilt to his belt once you remove the blade, and I think that looks pretty cool in there, and it stays pretty securely. It's a pretty tight fit there. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, I think Hasbro did a really good job at making this animated design look realistic. The head sculpt actually looks like Ewan McGregor. I think that is a perfect likeness of him. That just looks really good. The sculpt of the hair and the beard looks really nice. You get a slight wash over top of the beard and a really nice wash over the top of his hair. It brings the details out really nicely. That is just a really good likeness of Ewan McGregor. Especially comparing it to the Archive Wave version. This one looks nothing like him when you have these side by side. I did want to see if you could swap the heads out if you wanted. Surprisingly, this head just pops right off like that. And I don't know if this one will, because it's not a double ball peg, it's a ball hinge. Okay, yeah, that actually popped off pretty easily. So, will that fit? No, you would have to mod it out. That actually looks pretty cool in there. You'd probably have to Dremel it a little bit deeper and then make it a tighter fit. But yeah, this new head on the old body actually looks pretty good. I think his Clone Trooper armor is sculpted really nicely. I do wish they would have printed some wear over top of it, used some print tech to put like little score marks or something on it. I think that would have looked really good. But I mean, it still has a good sculpt nonetheless. The logo on the left shoulder pad looks really nice there. I'm surprised they didn't print that on. I think that's solid paint, but the details came out really crisp on that. I believe the arms are reused from the new Clone Troopers. I'm pretty sure the arms and the hands are reused, as well as the legs from the knee down. I'm pretty sure the parts that I mentioned are reused from a regular Clone Trooper. Now, from the knee up, it's brand new. Or new to this mold, I should say, because I'm not sure if the Target one uses these same parts or if they updated the sculpt a little bit. But you get the textures for the body glove underneath the tunic there, and that looks really good. I absolutely love the texturing that they did to the tunic. That looks really nice. I definitely think it could have used some sort of paint variation over top of it to bring that out, the details out a little more, but it looks pretty good for the most part. I definitely wish they would have used real fabric for his tunic, kind of like they did with the Ahsoka TV show Anakin figure. The Anakin reused, I'm pretty sure it reused parts from the Target exclusive Anakin, and they just put new soft goods over top of that. I really wish that this Obi-Wan would have done that. I think that would have looked better. I mean, it still looks good, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think fabric would have just looked even nicer. It's really weird here on the back because it looks like there's actually some paint variation on the wrinkles that bring the textures out. I don't see that on the front. I see the textures, but I don't see any variation. But it looks like there's a darker color painted over top of it, especially right here in the wrinkles. So that's kind of odd. So now, let's go ahead and go over his articulation. So he has a ball-jointed head and neck that can look up all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side and all the way around very nicely. He has shoulders. They really only move out that far. These shoulder pads are really soft, so you can see them kind of bunching up right there. He has a very nice butterfly joint. Because of the way it's sculpted, you get a bunch of clearance right there. So that is really nice. He has single jointed elbows that can bend in that far and move side to side. On the right wrist, you get a hinge that moves up and down really nicely and spin around. On this one, you get a regular swivel. I definitely wish this hand would have been hinged as well. He has a ball-jointed waist that can move back just a little bit. He can crunch forward a decent amount. He can move side to side and around just a little bit. He has hips that can only move out that far. You can see it's kind of stressing that material out right there, so you might split it if you try to get him moving out any more than that. He can kick forward very slightly, back very slightly. He does have a thigh swivel, single jointed knees that can bend back just about all the way, ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Clone Trooper. So taking a look at the Clone Trooper, his only accessory is his blaster, and we've seen this blaster used many times before on other Clone Trooper figures. Still needs some paint variation to it though. It's this really glossy black plastic, and I don't know, it just looks really plain to me. If it had just a little bit of variation over top of it, I think that would make a big difference. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt, or the helmet I should say. So taking a look at the head sculpt, the head and the entire figure are reused from the single release of this. I believe the single release was a Walgreens exclusive, if I remember right. The colors are just slightly different on this new one. Here the original one is next to this new 2-pack version, and the colors on the old one are a little bit darker. It's kind of hard to tell. The orange is a little bit darker and it's brighter on the new one. The visor looks like a glossier black. And that's really the only differences I can see. Like the little chips in the paint deco right there are exactly the same as on this one. The articulation and the sculpt is exactly the same. It would have been cool if this would have been a Phase 1 helmet instead of a Phase 2 like this one, because the Obi-Wan that's packed in with this, when he was wearing that armor, the Clone Troopers had their Phase 1 armor on. So it would have been cool if they would have given us a Phase 1 head sculpt for this. I definitely think we need more Phase 1 Clone Troopers overall anyways. We have Phase 1 Rex, and that gives me hope we'll see a Phase 1 Cody too, as well as maybe a Phase 1 212th Trooper. I think it would have been really cool for this to have like some battle damage or something on it, something to differentiate it from this one, other than the slightly darker paint apps on it. I mean, I can always use Clone Troopers, so I shouldn't really be complaining because you can always use Clone Troopers. I just wish there would have been a little more difference in paint apps on this new one. So going over his articulation, he has a ball-jointed head and neck that can look up all the way. He can't look down at all. The articulation is really hindered there. He can move his head side to side and all the way around very nicely. He has shoulders that are only meant to move out that far because of the shoulder pads. My left one right here, I don't think they glued it down all the way because it moves out like that. But that looks utterly ridiculous and I'm afraid I'm going to rip it. So yeah, it's only really meant to move out that far. He has butterfly joints that move slightly. He has single jointed elbows that can bend in that far, a hinged right wrist that can move up and down and spin all the way around, a ball jointed diaphragm that can't move back at all, doesn't really move forward. It does move side to side and around though. Hips that can only move out that far. You can't really kick the thighs forward at all. I really wish they would have updated the hips on this, because yeah, you're going to scuff the plastic up really bad if you do that. Can't really kick back at all either. I suppose if you move it to the side like that you can, but then the knee pad's going to be on the outside of the leg right here. You have swivel at the thigh, single jointed knees that actually have some decent range of motion and move side to side, and ankles that can move down very slightly, up all the way, and a pretty nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up here they are next to the new Walmart exclusive Cody figure. Here they are next to the new Phase 1 Clone Captain Rex figure. Here they are next to the Archive Wave Obi-Wan figure. And man, it's a night and day difference with this new Obi-Wan. The one on the left here is supposed to be Ewan McGregor, and the one in the middle actually looks just like him. Here they are next to the new Ahsoka TV show Anakin on the left there, and then the original Target exclusive version on the right. The one on the left is actually supposed to look like Hayden Christensen, and the one on the right, I think it was Hasbro's attempt at making the cartoon design look realistic, but I don't think it quite worked. The new one looks so much better, and I think he actually looks really good with Obi-Wan there. I think they definitely fit well together. And finally, here they are next to Darth Maul and Asajj Ventress. So overall, I think Hasbro did a decent job on this 2-pack. It's mainly a re-release of the Target exclusive Obi-Wan. I do think they tweaked some things with that. and just a straight up repack of the Clone Trooper with a little bit different paint. I think it's a pretty cool pack overall, though. I think Obi-Wan is obviously the star of this set. I wanted that figure, but I could never find the original one. But I'm glad I waited it out and didn't get that one, because this one looks really good. That head sculpt looks great. I think the sculpt of the figure looks good. The articulation is pretty decent for the most part, too. The only real complaint that I have with it is that he has a trigger finger, and he can't quite hold his lightsaber properly. As for the Clone Trooper, I mean, if you have the original one, you'll pretty much know what to expect from this one. It's not a bad figure. The articulation is a little bit dated now, especially since we have some new Clone Troopers with a new body mold. But as I said, I can always use Clone Troopers. You can always use that in displays and photography and whatnot. So I think this is a pretty cool pack overall. I believe it's actually still in stock right now on Shop Disney. And if you're a first-time buyer from their site like I was, you can sign up and get, I think it was free shipping or something like that. So yeah, if you're wanting this pack, definitely get it from there. I think that's the best deal you're going to get. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.